Atlantic partners want to avoid unnecessary war through diplomacy instead. Why?
See, that's just inaccurate, completely inaccurate.
Well, I mean, they want
And
to avoid unnecessary war and rather go through diplomacy, i.e.
well,
Obama with the JCPOA. They want to have
if the
strong
Democrats,
relationships with their transatlantic partnerships. I mean, just look at what AOC has to say about how important they are to us.
no, that's
They want
not
to give tax
that's
cuts
not
to the
accurate
working
at all.
class. Kamala Harris ran on $2 trillion worth of tax cuts for the 120 million Americans in the low and the middle class. And you just continue to say that none of this is true. I mean, I could give you sources for everything I said.
How could you say the Democrats are against war when they literally wiped their butts with the Doha Agreement and just evacuated Afghanistan so poorly, closing down one airport, only allowing one airport open, which was a complete catastrophe.
Your mic is shitty, bro.
Then
You fix your mic.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, so completely, evacuating Afghanistan poorly by wiping their butts with the Doha Agreement, and then subsequently giving over, $94 billion of weaponry to the Taliban, the sworn enemy of the Russians, foregoing them, giving them leeway to go right into Ukraine.
Dude's just
because
lying.
they saw no leadership in the United States. This is just what I see as a voter.
Yeah,
They
well, you're
they
just
go
wrong.
in. No, this
You're
is what
wrong.
happened.
There
This
was
is what happened.
There was $7.1 billion worth of operable equipment left in Afghanistan, and it wasn't even owned by us. It was owned by the Afghanistani government, and that's according to the DoD.
It doesn't matter. The point is they gave it.
It does
over to
matter
the
because you
Taliban.
just claimed that our government left $96 billion worth of our own functioning military equipment in Afghanistan, and that claim is just not true. We didn't leave a single dollar of functioning equipment of our own in Afghanistan, and any of the functioning equipment that stayed in Afghanistan wasn't owned by us. It was owned by the Afghani government.
That's a lie.
Okay, give me your source.
I literally saw it on the news. They're flying Black Hawk helicopters.
Okay, yeah. That belonged to who? The Afghanistan government. That was a part of the $7.1 billion of the Afghani equipment that was left there. Not owned by us. Not operated by us. Never used by us.
So, do you know what kind of training requires to fly a Black Hawk?
I don't know. Go ask the Taliban because apparently they do.
Okay, so who do you think trained the Taliban to fly Black Hawk helicopters? Who do you think would have that kind of ability?
Who fucking knows?
Come on, Dean, you're smarter than that.
Well, I mean, I think that you're pivoting because, like, I don't know who the hell trained them. They
No,
probably
because I'm trying to
they
paint a
probably
picture
trained
for you.
themselves. Okay,
I'm trying
but
to
listen.
paint a
The point
picture
here
for
is,
you.
listen. The point here is that you called me a liar when I told you that we didn't leave any of our military equipment in Afghanistan that was functional, and any of the equipment left in Afghanistan that was functional wasn't used by us and was owned by the Afghani government. And then you called me a liar. I have a source for you right here. So, Army Major Rob Lodwick, a Department of Defense spokesperson, said in a statement, quote unquote, the $7.12 billion figure cited in the department's recent report to Congress corresponds to the A&D SF equipment and not U.S. military equipment used by our forces. All equipment used by U.S. military forces in Afghanistan was either retrograded or destroyed prior to withdrawal and is not a part of the $7.12 billion figure cited within the report, insofar as the equipment that was left in the country to be operable. You could find the statement from the spokesperson yourself by just looking up his name or going to Google and typing in U.S. left behind $7 billion worth of military equipment in Afghanistan after 2021 withdrawal, Pentagon report says.
Yeah, well, it was more than that, and that's just anyway.
But the Pentagon report disagrees with you. So why do you think that the Pentagon report was false?
Okay, well, because the president said otherwise. Okay, so
Show me that.
It was literally what was reported even when it happened.
Sure, then show me that. Show me where Biden said otherwise.
I'm not going to grab out of my computer.
No, I want you to grab out your computer and find your source because I'm calling you out. I think that you're a liar.
I don't want to do that at this moment.
I know,
I'm
because
just
you're
telling
scared
you-
of being
I'm telling
exposed as a fraud.
No, I'm not, because what I'm saying
Then I don't
cause
think
and
that you're
effect.
fit to be on the live stream, sir. This is a debate live stream where we have back and forth, transparent conversation while uplifting critical thought. Okay, I just gave you a report from the Pentagon to prove you wrong, and now you're saying that not only do you disagree with me, but you disagree with the Pentagon. Show me your source. We're not going to sit here and dink around with their little trust me bros. Okay, stop idiot maxing and actually give me evidence that you're right and I'm wrong.
Yeah. You actually proved my point when you said there was $7 billion left over. Okay, we can go tit for tat on the amount of money that they keep saying is there, and then they change it another way. Anyway, intelligence is fucked. The point is, the Nord Stream pipeline was then blown up, and then they blamed it on what, Russia, which makes no sense. It's their pipeline. If they wanted to cut off oil, or I mean, I think it was natural gas. If they wanted to cut off natural gas to Europe, they could just turn it off. They don't need to blow it up. And like the only country capable of even doing such a thing is probably us. Okay, so that's an act of WAR. And who knows if Biden authorized it or not, because Biden was a lame sack president who couldn't even fucking debate nobody. You could have debated better than Joe Biden, let's be honest.
Okay, so first and foremost, you're completely pivoting, all right? Because your first claim was to make a point about Afghanistan. You got proven wrong because I gave you a source from the Pentagon. You still said that I was wrong and said that the president said otherwise, and I asked you for your evidence and you had none. And now you're just like randomly bringing up the Nord Stream pipeline saying that Biden did it. First and foremost, that's another claim without evidence. And second of all, the main suspects for the Nord Stream pipeline is a small group of Ukrainian operatives, but of course Ukraine denies that, and that came out from the Wall Street Journal. So there's no reason to suspect that Biden blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. That is a baseless conspiracy theory, no different than the 2020 election.
Well, the only country capable of going that deep in special ops is probably one that's pretty powerful. Anyway, moving on.
Wait, no, not anyways. If you go on Google, you type in a drunken evening, a rented yacht, the real story of the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage, WSJ, well, then you actually get a report from the Wall Street Journal, and which is unironically affirmed by German investigators as well. So once again, I've now given you my evidence that your claim is wrong. Can you please give me your evidence that your claim is right?
I was making a point about cause and effect.
Okay, so then give me your evidence that your claim is right now that I've given you evidence your claim is wrong.
The world's fucked up. War in Ukraine.
No, give me your evidence that Biden blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Give it.
I didn't say that. I said they blamed Russia, and I just think that's weird considering it's their pipeline that they could just turn off.
Bro, what does any of this have to do with Afghanistan?
It has a lot to do with Afghanistan because that's Russia's like sworn enemy. Like you do know Russia invaded Afghanistan, right?
Well, what is the connection here?
That's the connection. You're giving armaments and you're giving the means to their enemies. So that Russia's like, great.
Oh,
the
yeah.
United States has no leadership
Once again, that's not true. Biden didn't give any U.S. arms to the Taliban.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
The Pentagon report says otherwise. The DOD says otherwise.
No, it's not true. Putin said he never had any
I literally, you can't just say it's not true when I gave you the name of the DOD spokesperson that said otherwise. I'll repeat it. Once again, the DOD explicitly says, and I quote, let me find the quote. And I quote, the all equipment used by military forces in Afghanistan was retrograde